Hello YouTube, and welcome to my channel. Today's topic, Real ID and the War on Women. You may have heard that as of this month, you are now going to be required to obtain a Real ID. Now, while the news has been mostly focused on being able to travel, getting through security, and things like that, it is a lot deeper. My ID expired about a year ago, and when I went to try to renew it, I ran into a bit of a snag. See, as a 45-year-old woman, I have discovered that women who have changed their name have to account for every name change they've ever had. So if you're a woman out there that's been married 3 or 4 times, hopefully you have all your marriage and divorce papers, because they're going to want them. Now, in my case, I am a U.S. citizen who was born in this country, as white as they come, and I am unable to obtain an ID due to a series of unfortunate events. My grandparents somehow in the 80s managed to enroll me in school using their last name, not the name on my birth certificate. No paperwork has ever existed to explain this change. So when I turned 18, I went to the DMV. I took my birth certificate. I took my social security card. I said, hey, this name's on my social security card. Even though it's different than my birth certificate, can I have this name put on my ID? This has been my name for all of my school records, everything. How my grandparents did it, I don't know. It was the 80s. It was a different time, and apparently I am now a product of my generation. Well, my grandparents both passed away. My mom when I was 13, my dad about 20 years ago. And so I can't obtain paperwork that does not exist. So I had my birth certificate. I had my marriage certificate. My marriage certificate has the name that was on my ID at the time and everything. But that wasn't good enough. They want me to manufacture paperwork that doesn't exist to explain why the name on my birth certificate is not the same name as my maiden name on my marriage certificate. Even though I have bank records, credit cards, an ID, I've got like 30 different ways you could properly verify my identity. Tax forms, none of it good enough. So now, here I sit as a 45-year-old woman, unable to obtain an ID. All because the government decided that my qualifications are not good enough. So if you are a woman out there who has changed your name, then you are going to have a problem. If you've changed it more than once, again, hopefully you have all the paperwork to account for every single time you have changed your name, because nothing else is going to be good enough. Even though there are several ways. I mean, they could fingerprint me to find out who I am if they want to. I don't care. All of my records, everything. Now, the reason I say this is a war on women is because it doesn't really affect men. Men do not usually change their names. Some have. Gotta give some credit there. But most men never do change their names. So they don't have to go through that. The name on their birth certificate is going to be the name that they give them. I was given 3 options. 1, I live in Texas, and they told me, go back to California and make them fix it. which is where I thought I legally changed it when I got that name put on my ID in the first place. The other one was to have my grandparents legally adopt me. Well, again, they're dead, so that's just not gonna happen. And the last option was basically to do what I'm doing now. Nothing. Or actually, they did ask me several times if I had a passport, which I don't, because I don't travel. Don't have the money to travel. And, because apparently that could supersede the birth certificate issue. But you need an ID to obtain a passport. So, and money. So I'm unable to do that as well. Now, with all that being said, all of the requirements that they want to get this real ID is ridiculous. Because even though I figured it would also help verify my identity, they wanted 2 months worth of my bank statements. Why does the DMV need that? It's ridiculous. The government is going too far in the requirements. And there should definitely be some leniency. But now, because you can't do anything without an ID. I can't get a job because I don't have ID. If I lose my apartment because I don't have a job, I can't rent another one because I don't have ID. If I wanted to travel somewhere, better drive and have someone else drive me, like my husband, because I don't have ID. I am in my 40s and I am unable to obtain an ID. And this is going to keep being a problem for pretty much as long as I'm around. Because when I get old enough to try and get Social Security or disability or anything like that, guess what? They're going to want ID to verify who I am as well. So if anything happens to my husband, me and my 12-year-old daughter are kind of in trouble because there's nothing I'll be able to do on my own. The government has completely stripped away my rights, and if it's happening to me, it's happening to others. So, I just wanted to let all the women know out there that this could happen to you as well, depending on your life circumstances. Some women have changed their names, not necessarily the most legal way, just to escape a bad situation. And now that could come back to haunt them too. And this is not okay. Again, the government is going way too far. I have actually watched a couple videos about Real ID and read some comments. And one comment specifically had mentioned that they're not planning on traveling, so they weren't going to get one. Well, again, you don't have a choice. If your ID expires and you need an ID, the Real ID is what you're going to have to apply for. You can't get a regular ID. It just isn't going to work. And again, this is not okay for the government to do to people. Well, that's all I have on this topic. Let me know what you think below. Have you had problems? Do you want a Real ID? Do you already have a Real ID? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. If you disagree with my opinion, that is perfectly fine. Everyone is entitled to one. Just keep your comments respectful. Like, comment, and share this video because it does help the algorithm. And I hope you all have a wonderful day.